Hello, welcome to City of Heroes. And I thought that what I would do is I would go through all of the different characters I have as just kind of an introduction to what I do on the game. I am on the Homecoming servers, I think is what it's referred to, and I am on the Everlasting server. Yes, so which is a role playing server. So, the idea is that you role play more than you just play by yourselves. Now, I also have some characters in what is called the Reunion server, which is not a role playing server. Doesn't have as high of a population as the Everlast. And the reason is that I have those over there is sometimes, I want to play without being bothered by other people online. Just do my own thing. And so I go and play in the Reunion server. And my heroes and villains or whatever over on that server are all kind of like they are what I call toons. That's what I refer to these different characters as. I call them toons. I mean, I don't know why. Like, probably because of their characters in a cartoon, or they're toons in a comic book kind of a thing. Cartoons in a comic book. I just like when I play other online games, I don't refer to the characters necessarily as toons, but in this game I do, and I always have. I don't know why. So anyway, yeah, all of the tunes on the Reunion server are kind of like standalone tunes in the sense that they can take care of business on their own without really having to team up with anybody. Now, pretty much every character can or tune can do that, but some, like if you just have a defender tune, it more than likely it's, or a tank, the fights last twice as long. You may not win, kind of a thing. You may get overwhelmed if you're by yourself. So they're so you don't always want to play them by themselves. But anyway, okay, here we go. My highest level tune is called Account Ant, which is a play on accountant. The reason I have this character is because he is what they call kind of like your alt manager kind of a thing. And it's also why this tune, it's not a he necessarily, is one of the highest level tunes, is the highest level tune I have. So, an alternate manager is one that you want to be able to do all kinds of salvaging recipes, make things, go to the auction house, sell things, buy things, and kind of is your tune that saves. Well, see, like I have all this salvage here I can use to make things, and then I can send them to my other tunes. And so that's kind of what this kind of a tune is meant for. And so because of that, it's critical for the tune to be of a higher level than otherwise. All right, so let's see, we'll come over here in the light. So I tried to make him look as much like an ant as possible. Well, may not be able to really see that in the interior light here. Let's go outside. Oh, of course it's nighttime. Well, but we do get a better look at him. So he's kind of like a flying ant. It's got little insect legs, that kind of thing. And his description is created by atomic fallout. It has come here to take an accounting, to reconcile the ledger, post in the good and bad columns. It is here to help those in the good column and punish those in the bad column. in essence, a balancing of the books. Why an ant? Because there's an ant in every accountant. So, yeah, trying to be clever. Probably didn't pull it off. So let's see, when he flies, see his little wings go like crazy, beat like crazy. And we'll go over here and we'll look at, I keep doing this so I can recenter. So it's October, and so it is now Halloween season in City of Heroes. And so the globe, if you've watched the Calvin Cutter video, you'll remember the globe was a globe with the earth and everything was covered in snow. Now it's a big pumpkin, and you come up here and there's like a little pumpkin thing going on. And this person's up here, shocking beauty, hanging out. And Miss Liberty is back to looking like her normal self, which is this, as opposed to a Christmas based. Okay, now we're just going to come in here. We'll log off in the City Hall. So the reason we log off inside the City Hall or some of these other places, not only for the day job, which this tune has all the day jobs possible, but because when you go to log off, it logs you off instantly as opposed to doing a countdown. So we'll be back with one of our other heroes. Now this is Espada de la Luna, Sword of the Moon. She is, and I do a little video of her fighting Super Boss. And Espada de la Luna is one of my original characters from whenever the servers used to be live, before they shut down the City of Heroes. So that's what she kind of looks like. She is, her powers are katana and dark armor. And she leaps as opposed to flying. And her bio says, a descendant of Zoro, she was destined to learn the sword and fight injustice. At a young age, she was sent to a Japanese dojo teaching the art of the sword. Her final quest of mastery was to find a sword that would help her master her art. After much meditation and searching, she bonded with the spirit of the moon and was shown the location of the moon katana. She now strives to bring a little light into the twilight of the current age by fighting for justice. Yeah, and so, when we do like these different auras, she gets all dark and sparkly. One of the things I like about this power set is this right here, the Death Shroud. So all I gotta do is go stand next to villains or enemies, whatever, and this will suck the life out of them. Don't even really have to fight them. And this, what is this? Why is it over here? Dark Embrace. Oh, because I think I run all the time with Dark Embrace. But the problem with this power set is that it's very endurance hungry. So if I have all of my dark powers running and get into a fight, then I start running out of endurance pretty quickly. Now she is a scrapper. I think it says that, right? Over here. Yeah, so she's a scrapper. You hear that music going on? That means that right now the zombies are out in force in the world. So let's see. Let's go out here. And you can see supernatural activity detected in Still Canyon, which is where we're at. we're in the college, the university. So yeah, now we could probably go out and find some zombies. Get the bright star badge. Hey, all right. The first luminary used her light-based powers to disrupt the formation of a large portal to the Ritki homeworld on this spot. Well, I don't see any zombies, but I do see a citizen getting harassed over here. Let's come over here. And now she's gray. So there's no threat to me. And just by me standing here, sucks the life out of him. So that's why he's running away, because basically I'm just sucking the life out of him. You are amazing. Wow, thank you. All right. Let's go back and park. Get on to our next tune. So I will add Espada de la Luna. You can see it says your global chat handle is at Espada de la Luna. So the reason that is that way is because I liked this tune so much whenever I played previously that whenever I came back to these servers, she was the first tune I created, and that's why then I have that handle. All right, we're going to go to our next one. Okay, this is Flick Racy, which is a play on Dick Tracy. You know, Dick Tracy had the yellow hat. Well, I gave her a red hat, and so that's her signature, the red hat, and got kind of as close as I could to the look of Dick Tracy. So she's a blaster, which means she's a ranged hero type. Her powers are assault rifle and devices. And so since there isn't really any explanation as to why she would have superpowers, because that's kind of not like what she is. She's like a super detective, not a super powered individual. So she has sorcery, which gives her mystic flight, meaning that it's not superpowers, but she's got some kind of magic ring or something that allows her to fly via sorcery. So her description says, a private eye working cases in her signature red hat. When you see the red hat, you know Flick Racy is on the case. So, yeah. She uses a Thompson submachine gun, as you can see. We'll come over here and stop this lady from being harassed. And let's see. Yeah, what we'll do is do a snapshot and then this guy. There you go. Thanks very much. Every week someone is trying to steal my purse. So that's what she looks like whenever she's in her fighting mode. Yep. But, you know, we don't want to get sued for copyright, so that's why it's Flick Racy. Why it's also a female as opposed to a male. No way they can say this is a copy of Dick Tracy. But that was the inspiration. So, okay. Now we're on to the next. All right, now that's an oral gate, I think is what that's called. Or no, Ouroboros portal. Okay, now this is one of my a fun character to play. This is Disco Dave. So Disco Dave is a blaster. He's a fire blaster, and yeah, so he's got a disco, the tie dye shirt on. He's got the disco fro going on. The bell bottom jeans, and then we can let's see. Yep, time to relax. Okay, he's already relaxed. Time to disco down. Now he switches into his disco outfit, which is the more formal kind of look. Combed his hair and has more like a Saturday Night Live kind of outfit going on. So time to relax. Back to that. Now, what I like about this character is I is disco based, of course, and so he says a lot of disco kind of things, like sings, "Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I. I will survive." Or um, sings, "One, two, ah, freak out, love freak," etc., etc. All these different things, um, which drives some people crazy, but it's role playing. His powers, he's a mutation, so that's why he has the powers he has. He's a blaster, has fire blast and mental manipulation. So because of his mutation and his mental powers, he has force of will that he can project his will, has mighty leap because of that. So he doesn't fly, he leaps. And his description is beginning of excerpt from patient psych evaluation. Dave Dawson, or Disco Dave as he likes to call himself, claims that he has this unnatural ability to lay down hot disco tracks. He claims they are so hot that the albums on the turntable just burst into flames. Dave also has an uncanny ability to get people in the groove. We have witnessed him getting an entire ward of depressed patients up and disco dancing like they were having the time of their lives. None of those things by themselves are what is concerning. With unusual powers being a common occurrence in today's world, we attribute these abilities of his to something along those lines. The reason he is in this hospital is because he absolutely believes that disco is king and will live forever, which clearly makes him completely insane. However, since he's not a threat to anyone, we cannot keep him. End excerpt. So yeah, that's his theme. And the disco songs are so hot that they generate heat, which gives him his fire ability. And let's see. No, that's just aim. Rain of fire. So we could do an example of some calls some rain of fire. What else did I want to say? Oh, whenever we win or somebody does well, sings Yahoo! It's a celebration. Yahoo! Celebrate good times. Come on. Yeah, I'm not good at the singing, actual singing piece, but you get the idea. Oh, and then I like to say things like, whenever I'm in a group and I make a suggestion, but nobody listens to me, I like to say things like, one of my catchphrases is, "Nobody listens to disco anymore." So, all right. Well, so that's Disco Dave. Pretty fun character to play. Let's get on to our next character. Okay, so this is Lil Miss Muffet. She's like a little cheerleader kind of heroine. And I made her just because I think she looks awesome whenever she's um, doing her powers and stuff, especially this right here, her little jump kick. I I just think she looks very cute and awesome whenever she's doing it. So that's why I created her. And that was because I saw somebody else with a similar looking character doing a jump kick thing, and I was like, "Oh, that looks very cute. I'm going to do that." Which, that I hardly ever finish role playing games like this because I end up creating so many different alternate characters because I'll be playing one certain class for a while, and then I'll see something somebody else is doing, and I'll be like, or I'll see some other kind of combination of powers in effect or in action, and I'll think, oh, that looks cute, cool. I want to do that too, and so then I'll go off and I'll create another character, or I'll have an idea for another theme character, and I have too many of them. That's just bottom line. Though I don't have as many as some people claim they have. Some people claim they have hundreds of alternate tunes. She's a defender, and what that means is that she basically helps the fellow heroes in a team by healing them or giving them additional power, boosting their powers, that kind of thing. And so Little Miss Muffet is based on the poem. So it says, Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider, sat down beside her, and promptly bit her in the leg. At which point Little Miss Muffet let out a psychic scream, killing the spider and emitting a healing aura that healed the bite. Thus, Miss Muffet's mutant powers were discovered. So, I don't know. Thought I was being clever there. So, yeah, she's a mutant. Her powers are empathy, which is the strongest healing class or power set, and she does psychic blast. So that goes along with the psychic scream and then the healing aura. But because she's a defender, she's not that strong on her own. And so it's very seldom that I can play her without actually having her team up with someone. If I do, there's a lot of running away at times, and fights take forever. I have to really pick the fights, kind of a thing. So, all right, there you go. On to our next. So Pocket D seems to be a little popular today. So I got into this idea, this mood of creating a Robin Hood themed group, and basically they're all my players. They're all my tunes that are in the Robin Hood kind of group, for lack of a better word. And so this is one of them, Alan Adale, who was a character in that story. And basically, he is a defender, he's a mutant. And it says, unable to successfully solve the problem of bandits in the forest, the sheriff hired a wandering mercenary. Unknown to him, the mercenary was a time traveler. The mercenary decided the most efficient way to solve the problem was to poison the inhabitants of the forest. He obtained some radiated stones from the future and placed them in various streams throughout the forest. Most of the inhabitants of the forest died of radiation sickness, but Alan was one of the members of the merry men that were mutated by the exposure. The mutated band confronted the mercenary. In the final battle, as he was dying in defeat, the mercenary caused a random time rift to open and sucked the merry band into this time. They are more vigilantes than heroes, but they continue their tradition of always fighting on behalf of the downtrodden and oppressed. And so his powers are radiation emission. So because, he has his powers from being exposed to radiation, that's his powers. And he has a sonic attack, because Alan Adale was a singer, a bard, kind of in that story. So that's why he has a sonic attack. We're going to come over here. Going to go in the base portal here. And then we're going to go to Steel Canyon. Because we're going to because we're going to log off in our next place to get our day job, which is the university. And oh, he could run down through here. He's high enough level, but still. We're going to fly over to the university. Now I don't know why Alan Adale is one of my higher level tunes. Other than I must have got on a team where we did a lot of stuff that got him raised a higher level quicker than usual. No super speeding in the halls. This is a building for higher learning people. All right, he must have realized I had my super speed going on. All right, so we're going to log off here so that we earn the professor job. On to the next one. Okay, this hero is called Storm Weary. I don't know. I couldn't. Any other cool name I thought it was taken. And so this is what he looks like. Now he is a defender. And so that's why he's all skinny and everything. Because, he's not using a physical might. His powers come from magic. So description. Jerry is a minor storm god. Though he does not know that. He just knows that all his life rain seemed to follow him around. And he hates rain. He was a teen when he discovered that if he concentrated on it, he could redirect the rain and storms to be somewhere else other than where he was. Not soon after that, he discovered that he could control when the storms were present or not. Storms can be destructive, but they can also bring life, healing a parched land and dying foliage. He discovered that he also had a natural ability to heal other humans around him. He had a hard time keeping a job because eventually jobs would link the fact that when he clocked in, so would the storms outside. Thus, he has turned to hero work, the only place he seems to fit. So he has empathy to heal, which is what this focus is really. And then Storm Blast is his power set. And because it's magic, gods are magical, he has Mystic Flight through sorcery. And that is Storm Weary, because he's weary of storms. So we're going to come over here. We're going to log off near the portal so that he gets portal duty job whenever we log back on. Okay, this is Frosty's hat. So this is a themed character of mine. This is what he looks like. Just a normal guy wearing a hat that you would find on a snowman. And he is a controller. So what controllers do is they kind of lock down the enemy. They lock them down, they confuse them, they control the enemy. They try and control the battlefield, kind of a thing going on. So his control is set is ice control and storm summoning. And that's because he has Frosty's snowman's hat. So his description is, there must have been some magic in that old silk hat they found, for when they placed it on his head, he began to dance around. I think Frosty was mugged by a bunch of fire-wielding hellions, as I found this hat in their territory. Frosty was written on the inside headband. When I placed it on my head, I felt the magic flow through me. I can use magic to control ice and storms. Instinctively, I knew that it belonged to Frosty the Snowman. Frosty is gone for now. I'm sure he will be back. In the meantime, I am here and will use his hat to fight those that did harm to him and other innocents. Now, if only I could control this urge to dance while wearing this hat. Yeah, so he began to dance around. So what I do with him is I often will have him. He doesn't just stand around. He dances while waiting for people to do their thing. So it's a themed character. We have that dance. We have the Michael Jackson dance. And then we have disco dance. And of course, just the slow dance. Yep, so that's his character. As an example of one of his powers. So this helps. This is a steamy mist. Your mastery of elements allows you to hide yourself and all nearby allies within a steamy mist. Steamy mist makes you and your allies harder to see and increases your defense bonus to all attacks while reducing fire, cold, and energy damage, as well as your foe's ability to confuse you. So that's an example there of one of his powers. Okay, on to the next. This is Foreshadower. So this is a theme character as well. I wanted to try and create a kind of a Valkyrie or angel kind of character. So I like how she looks when she flies. Yeah. So yeah, she looks cool, I think. Very cool. She is a defender. So not all my characters are defenders. But I like playing defenders. So she's a minor angel sent to help fight against the evil trying to corrupt the world. She supports heroes in their efforts. She can foreshadow a defeat before it happens, and she tries to intervene and keep it from happening. She isn't always successful in the short term, but long term she helps the heroes be successful. So she's natural. Being an angel, her powers don't come from mutation or magic or anything like that. It's a natural gift of hers. She also is of the empathy set, and she does a psychic blast. Being a foreshadower, kind of being able to use her psychic abilities to see the future, kind of a thing. All right, on to the next. Okay, this is Affinity. That's what he looks like. And that's because he's Affinity because he's able to gain affinity with people. Aha. I like his boots. So he's got little rocket boots. That's how he flies. And he is his powers come from science. So he's like a Iron Man. It's like he created his powers through science and what he's wearing, kind of a thing, which is why he has the rocket boots. So, description: mystic, witch doctor, shaman, whatever some cultures call this, it isn't it. He was born with this overwhelming deep sense of empathy for others. Because of this, he can also read and manipulate the minds of others. Being a scientist, he invented the helmet he wears that amplifies these natural powers to the point of superhuman performance. Knowing the thoughts of others, if they are redeemable, he can repair them, help them reach higher levels of performance through his empathetic skills. If they are not redeemable, then their minds become his playground. So his main power is mind control. His secondary power is empathy. So yeah, I play a lot of empathetic, a lot of tunes with the empathy power set. Yeah, I like it. Okay, that's Affinity. Let's get on to our next. Actually, I think we're going to end this recording here. What I didn't cover whenever I was talking about Account Ant is that he's a defender right here. His power set is radiation emission, as well as I believe. Well, let's go back in and look at him again. Yeah, he also is assault rifle, but he doesn't have the Thompson machine gun. It's like his own little invented weapon there. So, okay. I think we're going to actually call this recording here. We'll do one page of heroes at a time because I think this is running a little bit long. So hopefully you enjoyed this and you'll come back and join us. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comments section. And you'll come back and join us when we introduce our next page of my heroes, my alternate heroes. Until then, have a heroic day.